Test, hello, testing, hello.
1, 2. Hello, hello.
I'm Jimbo Jones.
Hi, I'm Jimbo Jones, and on this very special episode of Jim's Aussie Tours, we're touring Y3A. What the John Gory? Steve! Where the fuck's the sign, mate? What do you mean you didn't have time? You just didn't have time. You've been fair income with me right now that you didn't have time to stick a fucking Y, a 3 and an A right up there. Yeah, righto, mate. Look, we haven't got time for this shit. I need a fucking smoko. You know, it's like I've stepped into the Vatican. Such a beautiful piece of work. Anyway, best be going, see what else this place got to offer. Oh, mate, can we keep this PG? Some bloody clothes on, would ya? I swear, some people, they think they live in the bloody outback. Mate, aren't you cold? Oh, you don't talk much, do you? No. Maybe it's better. It's like me, mate, back in the outback in Central Australia, you know, got no much people to talk to, so you end up talking to the trees. All right, well, people go to the movies and they look and they think, fuck, that you're at a pub. But if you were to actually go onto the film set, you'd think, fuck, I'm at a pub, but then I look up and it's like, fuck, there's the lights. Where the fuck did all these studio lights come from? They're like magicians. Oi, Baz, get a video of that. That is those sets I was talking about to build that pub. This is like one of those couch beds. Oh, fuck, feels like heaven as well. Wonder what's cooking up behind this little beauty. No fucking way, you gotta be kidding me. We got ourselves a truckie on a good day. That's what you should be using, mate. One of these Canon VC10s. That's a nice little beaut right there. Or we could go for this one right here. That is what my ancestors used to use back in the day. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. This is like one of those fancy hotel suites. You know what? I might book myself a room with you. I got me swag in the ute. What do you think, Steve-O? No, Steve, you're not bunking with me, mate. There's plenty of room for the whole crew. Steve, look, can't you see? There's heaps of room, mate. All right, Steve, you know what? You can bunk with Baz. I'm getting my own room. This is my room. Def's taking this one, mate. This is where I sleep. It's my bed. Fuck, this thing's even got a TV. Unbelievable. Phone calls. Can order room service. Beauty. This is a great room. So I've been told that this place right here is the dead section of Y3A. I mean, look at it. There's only one guy that's walking through, so all these tables are empty. If you want to know something, this place is just as beautiful as the Amazon jungle. What the hell? They're back. That is a view like no tomorrow. Can you imagine standing here, fucking sunrise, sunset, over the bloody lake? Look at the tree. That's a beautiful tree right there. I think it's a gum tree. Can you hear the sound of that? That is what I call a working dog. Good on you, mate. I love that sound. I wonder if they got a 007. Oh wait, you're looking at him. Holy kangaroo shits off a cow's back. Look at this place. This is technology going ballistic. You know, there are more computers in this place than what there are of the trees that I sleep under when I throw my swag down. Check out the writing on the wall. Far out. Holy shit, look at this. This is like one of those fancy city boardrooms. And I just want to make an announcement that stocks are skyrocketing and investments are absolutely going through the roof. Cynthia, can you please push my 2 o'clock back till tomorrow? Lovely. So I'm guessing this is the theatre where those movies are going to get shown. I'm sure I don't have to show you what it's like in there. I'm sure you already know. So I'm done here. Anyway, see you later. Why are you still watching my show? It's over. It's done. Actually, matter of fact, haven't you got a screening to watch? Because everybody's wondering where the bloody hell are you? So hurry up and change the flaming channel, would ya? Anyway, don't forget to have a Ute Butte night, have one on me, and welcome to the 2021 documentary screening.
All right. Am I on? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
It's not working.
Hello?
There
we go.
Someone muted the mics. All right. Hi, and welcome.
Welcome to the documentary screening. I'm Georgia, Director of How Many Balloons Are Floating in Space.
And I'm Chris, cinematographer for The Birth of Venus. Georgia and I will be your hosts for tonight.
We are so excited to show you the films we've been working on.
Before we get started though, I would like to begin by acknowledging the Watamatagal people of the Darug Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which we gather here tonight, and pay respects to the elders past, present and emerging. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people here tonight.
I'd now like to call upon Dr. Karen Feldman to say a few words.
Usually I just yell, but why not? I'll take the mic. How gorgeous to see you all. I'm so thrilled that you are all turning up. Students for each other's work, family and friends for your loved ones' work. It's really, really lovely to see. There has been a COVID scare in Sydney, so if you're not sitting with your family or friend group, if you could just move over and leave a space, that would be great. Let's just keep a little bit of distance happening here. If you are with your family and friends, well, you've already shared it, so what can I do? Okay, so just a few things to say tonight. First of all, huge thanks to Vince for organizing this, leading the charge on that. Well done, Jimbo. And now there's something I asked Pam. I just don't know if I should say this or not. Pam said I should. Pam says I should. See, the thing is, though, like, there's some people here from last year and the year before, and they're not going to be very happy when I say this. I think this is the best documentary class we've ever had. I said it. So, enjoy the screening tonight. I think all of these films have a future. If you don't know what that future is, you might want to consult with me or Sam or Alex and think about, well, you know, what festivals should I submit this to? You know, maybe SBS wants to have a look at this. All of these films belong in your portfolios. No matter what else you're doing, they all belong in your portfolios. So I congratulate you on them all, and I look forward to hearing what you think of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. I have no idea if my mic's muted or not. Hello?
There you go.
I'm not doing that, I swear. All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
This is the first screening we've had in a while with lifted restrictions on capacity, and the first screening we've had in this theatre in over a year.
There's quite a lot of people here tonight. It's actually a little bit scary. Chris, do you have any hand sanitizer?
Of course. Let it sit. All right.
Okay, for a lot of us here tonight, this is the last semester of our degree. Isn't that crazy? We've wrapped on our films here at Macquarie.
As emotional as it is, there was something truly special about being a screening over the past couple of years.
Tonight is also a celebration of documentary filmmaking. A collection of meaningful stories.
Evocative narratives.
Creative treatments of actuality.
Anyways, tonight, there are a total of 15 films being screened.
That's a lot of films. I've been told that we have a solid collection of films this year.
Honestly, I'm not surprised.
So many talented faces here tonight. You should all be so proud of the films you've done this semester. A lot of well done films tonight.
I prefer mine done medium rare.
We've got a lot of competition for awards tonight as well.
Since there are so many films, we've got close races for a few of the titles.
But more on that later. For now, let's watch some films.
Rolling.
Action.
My name is Des. I'm a third-year Macquarie Uni student, and I've been one of the first members of Inspire ever since it started. Again, last two. But you've got it. God. So, we have all my God. Okay. Ever since the community here has grown, I've felt a lot more comfortable dancing in public than compared to like a couple of years ago. One last one, sorry. You just need to do this. That's all you need to do. I feel as if it's a very accepting community with any genre you dance, even if it's just K-pop covers or up to like breakdancing. It's a very open and very accepting community, and it's growing a lot as time goes by. Good, getting better. It's okay. We're good. We're fine. That's good.
15. One flight, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, come straight to the Chinese Gardens. Okay, bye, see you there.
So we're a serious K-pop dance crew. We've been a dance crew for around 2 years now.
left.
Oh, you jumped there.
Yeah.
So good. There are like mirrors that have been set up at ICC recently, and they were like really good for people who want to practice here, because there's always limited space and there's always new people coming around. Oh wait, is it? Oh yeah, this look right, yeah. Sorry, that's alright.
Other than dance, we mainly just come to chill. It's a really some people don't even dance at all, but we just have friends that come and see us.
Like we always seem to come back, and yeah, I think there would be better to have some kind of like proper space allocated for like dances.
I'm Gabby. I am 24 years old, and I love popping.
We got there. So I think what we're trying to say is
I was one of the lucky ones who was brought into the time of EC, the entertainment center, before it was knocked down. That's where all of us dancers were before ICC was built. When EC was knocked down, we kind of lost a bit of our like dance history in that way. When ICC was built, we were all really excited to just check out the space, see if it was a place, again, we could kind of rebuild a bit more of that culture.
ICC, and my styles that I do are breaking, locking, hip hop, and currently learning popping.
All complaining. You wouldn't have got through.
If I could change something about ICC, more mirrors. Mirrors that don't look like the funky Luna Park looking mirrors where you look skinny and then fat up the arm, yeah.
My name is Beverly and I represent O'Sheila Crew and Sydney Popping Scene. I've been dancing all together for about 12 years now. Back in EC days, there wasn't really much of this. Most people were either at studios or if you lived further out then you would have your own little community there. For a lot of dancers, because I know a lot of them are uni kids or they can't necessarily afford to pay for studios all the time, or studios might be booked out, so it's just always nice to have a place out in the open where you can always count on it.
If anything, there's more styles, more dance styles that have come out to ICC to practice. It's not just popping, it's not just hip hop, it's not just breaking, it's K-pop, it's whacking, so it's almost like a way to measure growth of the scene by where everyone trains.
Right, look at me. I'm gonna be rude to you right now. All good. Can you tuck your shirt in, please?
I'm not really sure yet who I am.
Tell us your name, what you do for work, and yeah.
My name is Chloe Dalton and I play rugby for the Australian Sevens team. I'm currently preparing for the Tokyo Olympics.
You train every day?
Pretty much. So we usually are in around 7 a.m. We have to come and check in, see the physio if we need to, get strapped, weigh in, assess how we ate and slept and how our bodies are feeling for the day, and then we'll do a little bit of prep for training. Then we'll generally have a team meeting, watch video analysis of training and sometimes of our opposition.
Cut. Okay, this time, Elise, let's move it a little bit faster.
Okay.
When you get to the bath, just if we haven't called cut by then, just as though you're getting in, but
Okay.
I will call cut before that.
Then out on the field for an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. They can go for quite a long time. Back, do some recovery in the ice bath, have some food, then in the gym for about an hour to an hour and a half before doing some more work on the field. Maybe another team meeting at the end of that before going home at probably around 4 p.m.
Right, that's a big day.
Yeah.
That is super rush, and I'm sure nobody knows what they're doing, but that is kind of the point. Hi Nala, how are you?
I'm well, Beth. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I should probably call you Robin, not
You can call me Robin. So my early 20s were taken up bringing up children. In the meantime, I had part-time jobs. After I left school, I went to Tech and did what we called in those days a shorthand typing course.
If you didn't work in maths or science, then you were relying on your looks.
Yeah, okay.
Which is a fucked way to think about it.
A female would never have thought of going into something like engineering or or even in those days, even if you were really bright, being a doctor was pretty hard as well. I guess my goal when I was young was to get married and have 4 or 6 kids. And in my day, when you married and you were having children, you weren't allowed to work anymore. So as soon as you were pregnant, you had to resign your job.
I'm Katie. I work at Commonwealth Bank in the healthcare team and business banking.
So, tell me about your average weekday.
Depends what the night's been like, whether the kids have been up, screaming, crying, or needing to be fed. But I usually wake up feeling fairly tired. And then it's all about the kids for the next hour to 2 hours, getting them dressed, getting them fed, getting them ready for the daycare or the nanny. I then walk into work, drop them at daycare on the way, or grab a coffee, and then I walk into the bank.
Action.
Come home and then straight into getting dinner ready for the kids, and then my husband and I. If I'm lucky, I'll get about an hour and a half of some downtime, either reading a book or watching something light on the television before it's lights out around 9 p.m. Do you know what? I've never really thought about what I expected my life to be.
Has that always been your goal?
Yes, I was 7 years old when I watched Kathy Freeman win gold at the Sydney Olympics. And I remember watching her when she zipped up her bodysuit, and she had so much pressure on her to win that race. But as a little kid, I just aspired to be that kind of person. So I decided in that moment that I wanted to win my own gold medal.
I've tried not to plan too much about what the future would hold. Only because I think if you expect something to happen and then it doesn't, you're probably not going to be very happy.
I guess I thought that we'd probably do a little bit more than what we've been doing. Max, my husband, has gotten into golf, and that is his first priority. So our life revolves around fitting in with his golf, and I hadn't expected that. Today, girls can basically do anything, within reason, obviously. There's stuff that they can't do.
For me, success is about finding something that you're good at.
Do you have any regrets?
No, not that I can easily put my finger on.
Do you think you're successful?
Well, I think I do. I have had some lovely successes in my life.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been asked that before, but I think I would say I'm successful. I'm still a work in progress.
So yeah, I'm happy. There haven't been too many goals that I've set that I haven't achieved. So yeah, I guess I am successful.
I think my definition of success is a happy life.
I think it's important to maintain balance amongst all the areas of your life.
I feel that I have been successful, but could I have done more with my life? Probably yes.
I think overall I probably feel like I've achieved a lot, but not necessarily haven't yet achieved everything that I want to.
I've brought up some wonderful children and some beautiful grandchildren. I've done some travelling. I've had some interesting jobs.
You know, I feel like I've had a long time of life just being about me.
I don't know what the exact achievement would be that I would feel like that's it, I'm done, I'm finished in terms of trying to achieve those things.
Hey, I'm Elise Beer. I am 28 years old and, wait, sorry, I'll do that again, I'm 29.
Would you consider yourself successful?
Scene 4E, take 4, camera, rolling, sound, check, action.
I'm doing all right. How about you? Yeah, so I'm Gareth,
I'm Maddie. I'm Pamela.
currently in my 4th year of studying screen sound performance at Macquarie University.
4th year of doing a Bachelor of Media and Communications. And I major in screen practice and production.
Got into this because I wanted to be an actor. But acting's a very difficult job to get into. I'm trying to think of how to say this. It's like, yeah. It's like reciting these words, but like knowing how to put each emotion into the correct emotions into the lines.
Yeah. Did any of us ever carry spears? Was that something we did? I won't be able to see anything, I'll tell you that much.
I find it very difficult, you know? And I think part of that is because, like, you know, I found out like a couple of years ago that I'm probably on the autism spectrum, which, you know, when it feels like, you know, your brain's sort of wired differently from everyone else, it makes it hard to really figure out how to act naturally. One of the things that really attracted me to drama and theater and film and all that stuff is the community. Some of the best friends I've ever made at uni were because I did theater at Macquarie Uni. You definitely develop a bond with people like that. So I do have a lot of anxieties about where I'm gonna go, but at the end of the day, this is also what I want to do. And, you know, even if it's a tough road, as long as I'm having fun, and, you know, as long as I'm doing what I'm passionate about, then that's what really matters for me.
Share the same problems, but also share the same successes with all of my peers, which has been really good. I think I've made some amazing friendships that have kind of built me into career progression. My mother and my grandmother were both actresses. My grandmother, she originally did acting back when she was 16, so she started in theatre. And then my mum, she started acting basically, yeah, from when she was walking. So she kind of fell into it because of her mum, and she did a lot of acting in school. And I think this day and age, it's very hard to go, I might just run off and become an actress. My family have always been very supportive of my creative outlets, and I think growing up, my brothers played football and I was always doing the acting. I was, you know, doing it after school, doing it during school. And I think they were always very supportive of that and never stopped me from doing stuff that was creative. There was a little bit of me that almost a bit of like a parent in the back of my mind always saying to me, if you don't do this, how are you going to feel? Because my grandmother did a great job at it, but it was never her full-time gig, and neither with my mum. So I think there was always a bit of pressure from myself being like, how are you going to feel if you get old and you've never done everything you've wanted to do? So I think for me, my parents never made me do it, but I was almost like, I have to do it for me because I know if I don't, I'm always going to be angry about it.
We'll flick through the pages. Nothing can really transport you to another world, for lack of a better term, like film can. It works better. I did a lot of drama in high school. I was, emceeing all the performances and doing monologues and doing group performances and stuff like that for pretty much like 6 years of high school. I was brought up from immigrant parents, so they're very much embedded in their ways, and their ways definitely do not include anything creative. Lots of church, lots of prayer, lots of conservative behaviors. Strictness of how hard I was brought up kind of led me to do a lot of dumb things when I was younger. Extremely difficult to not have any type of support system at home, especially when those are the people that are meant to support you the most. Film isn't just another form of rebellion. Part of me does enjoy the fact that it's so looked down upon by the rest of my family, because I know it's not something that should be looked down on, and I know how tough it is because I've been in it, and I know how powerful it can be because I've seen how powerful it can be for me. I feel like at this rate I will be I feel like I just have to make it now. I've come this far and I've done so much in spite that I'm like, if I don't make it now, it's just I don't want it to be all for nothing.
And, even if it's a tough road,
Even if I start at the bottom,
Being told all these negative things,
as long as I'm doing what I'm passionate about.
have to keep on going no matter what. That's what drives me.
I'm going to show you.
my friend whose mum had her at 27 loves the age gap between her and her mum, so is set on having kids at 27. And so she's like, okay, well, I need to find someone by the time I'm 20 so we can like have a certain amount of time together, be together for about 5 years before we get married, and then go be married, have the honeymoon, and then start looking at having kids. And she's just turned 21.
So, what is queer time to you?
I was socialized one way, but now I'm living socially as what many people consider the opposite. And it creates a sense of missing time or misused time.
I don't know, I think that it really does kind of end up being this imitation of a heteronormative, cisnormative kind of institution.
Me and the language I like to use and numbers of partners and things like that.
I feel it's sort of cheap to pick that up and place it on top of the queer experience.
When I was a kid, I probably did set milestones for myself subconsciously and be like, well, once I get a degree, then I'm like a smart person, you know.
That a lot of cisgender heterosexual people can just decide to move forwards in their life in these goals, but a lot of queer people have to stop and wait.
So yeah, I think I do use time as a learning mechanism, I suppose, or a how to not book, and sort of use it as reference of like, you know, just things that you did wrong and how you can improve upon that today.
But yeah, it was because I'd been through puberty before, and then I don't know, before it felt like anything, it felt like an undoing. It felt like a rewinding of time.
And you're dealing with reality as an adult, but then you're also sort of socially, you've sort of gone back to what you missed, I guess, as a teenager.
I didn't really subscribe to the whole marriage thing. That's still like up in the air for me, but it just seemed very institutional and
This linearity, this kind of easy to predict, like defined path is kind of like the basis of everything. And if you start to fuck with that, it's like you shake the Jenga tower and it comes crashing down.
I now understand that I don't have to do that if I don't want to. I don't have
Typical imposed
narrow path.
Get married.
Kids,
job,
afford a house, probably.
Deciding to transition itself kind of takes you really outside of the normative time, because you're nullifying your childhood in a lot of ways and living an adulthood without a corresponding childhood.
And even now, I don't feel like I've had a proper relationship and you know, sort of gone through those firsts, because realistically, it was for show, it was institutional, it was something that was thrust upon us rather than something that we explored in our own time.
I know, I feel like time, I mean, of course we can't all experience it the same. That would be silly. That would be just a pointless, fruitless endeavor, I think.
always enjoyed like making up things on the piano. A lot of classical musicians, they might love the structure of having something the same every time, but for me personally, that's what I love, is like, you don't know what's going to happen.
You don't start a phrase with a strong idea of where it's going to end necessarily.
That's why I like jazz, it's because you can improvise and like it's going to be different every time. The people that I know, that their personalities come out in their music a lot. So if it's like someone who always likes to be the centre of attention, often their playing will reflect that, or if they're a bit more reserved, they might have a more sensitive touch to the way that they play. It could depend on your mood, you know, if you're like really angry. Or if you're like really sad, that would probably come out, so I think it depends on how you're feeling.
And I think every, sort of different playing environment you end up in changes what you're doing. Like you're always, I guess, reacting to the other people involved and what they're playing and, what their ideas are. Whenever I'm playing with Aaron in a band, it's like he's trying to make the whole band sound good.
I like the way that he plays like an idea. He gives it space to breathe. Something might happen from that and the music can go in any direction. It's like when you meet someone, like you instantly can get along with them. Some people you just like play and it's like, oh, that's magic.
When the patient themselves doesn't understand their own illness, how can you expect anyone else to understand? Well, my name's Margaret, and I'm 76 years old, turning 77 shortly. My first experience at Gladesville, I was scheduled and I had no idea where I was going, none at all. And back in those days, you imagine this little man coming along with the little green cart. Where that came from, I don't know, but that's what you used to think if you were insane. That's how you got taken away. The treatments at Gladesville, I think I was pretty stabilised on tablets, but I was also used as experimental treatment with methadone, Ritalin and LSD, and the LSD stays with you for the next 20, 30 years. You have flashbacks. I felt guilty about that for the next 30 years, that he'd been sent away because of me allowing it to be found out that he'd been abusing me. If I could say all the staff were very good to me, I guess there was one who used me, and I felt pregnant to him. I don't know how the relationship started. It was nice to know somebody needed me for something. That was my thinking back then, that, yeah, at least he wanted me. My state of mind at the time was I certainly wasn't going to be a fit mother anyway. The plan was, yes, to have him adopted. I found his parents and I wrote to them, and his mum rang me, all excited. She said we'd go to dinner, which we did. Very conservative person he is, but very well respected within the medical field. And yeah, so they did him proud, and you'd have to be proud if you saw him. But I still never felt that I had the right to touch. As much as you want to give them a hug, I just felt that I had no right to do that. So he did come here and he met my two, Julian and Tim, and then, yeah, he just broke that contact and didn't want anything further to do with us, so I had to wear it. They're saying they're upset because people are calling them crazy, but they're quite happy to call the other patients crazy. I just didn't follow it. And it wasn't mental, well, you're insane. Yeah, or crazy, one or the other. And now we try to be nice about it. We change all the words. We change asylum to institutions, now mental hospital. I think asylum is the nicest. Asylum's a refuge, and that's what it was to a lot of people. Even though it'd be so easy these days. I'm anaphylactic to so many things. I only have to take one tablet. Said to the psychologist yesterday, I said, all the times I tried and had to take 100 tablets, now I've got one antibiotic, just one tablet, and I'm gone. It'd be so easy.
Do whatever you like.
Drivers claim to have seen ghosts on a stretch of unlit motorway
Ghost
that was
story.
site of two
Northern
murders
Beacons on a
along
strange
Akehurst Parkway, Sydney.
Throughout my whole life, you drive up on Wakehurst Parkway. It's one of the only main roads in and out of the Northern Beaches, so it was very strange to hear that there was such a dark history behind it.
There are lots of different ideas and theories, I guess, around how people interact with the beyond or the supernatural world or ghosts.
I'm quite a skeptic, but I'm very interested in all things paranormal.
I'd come more from an energy background. I think the paranormal is actually very normal.
I heard one story back in the 90s where this guy murdered someone with a compound bow and then cut up his body and hid it all throughout Waico's Parkway, like through the creeks and the lakes that run through it.
Ghost stories have been around for as long as we've been telling stories. Ghosts are an important part, obviously, of several religions around the world, and they're a big part of a lot of mythology. And what I love about them is the fact that they're often tied to scientific investigations of the supernatural, where people were investigating with scientific techniques that they had at the time, trying to ascertain whether the supernatural world was real, whether ghosts were real.
There's lots of myths surrounding it, but not a lot to be debunked or proven. And I feel like there should be more looked into it, considering there's such infamy around it. The whole myth of there being a nun on the road. The nun is such like a horror, like cliche. I feel like it makes it easier to make people think that that's what they're seeing.
When you think something and you think it in mass, you can actually physically create that illusion. Then it becomes real.
So there are different kinds. There are, ghosts that do no harm, just sort of a bump in the night. And then there are the ones where there's that sense of a darkness, of an evil presence.
They're actually called phantom hitchhiking ghosts, and they all have a very similar premise. Young girl appears, scares the hell out of drivers, sometimes causes accidents, sometimes turns up in the car. Because a lot of these legends you actually can track back to historical cases.
The girl Kelly, there's no sort of case of anything even close to that in reality.
It's very difficult to determine where the name Kelly actually came from.
There's some stories that she was like murdered. There's another where she came from the quarantine station. She was like a patient there. Probably the creepiest one is where she appears in the back seat of your car as you're driving up and you see her in the rearview mirror.
There's this sense of the person still there wanting to right this wrong or recover something of who they once were in order to then move on.
I had this weighing feeling, especially because of the witness descriptions and experiences. It could actually be a missing person. We had one guy in that you'd think is the toughest thing on earth. When we showed him the photo, he just broke down. He said, "That's her." He just said, "That's her." I don't think she's malicious at all. I think she just wants to be seen. They all describe this sense of needing to stop and help, just to check if she's okay.
Even the most skeptical person leaves a little bit of room for the possibility that ghosts might be real. We can dismiss werewolves, we can dismiss the abominable snowman, but I think everybody finds it a little bit harder to utterly dismiss ghost stories because they are so prevalent and because they hover just on the borders of the potentially possible.
Time 7:40, 7:47.
7:50.
Alright guys.
Wow, what a great first half. We're going to have a 10-minute interval, so we'll see you back here at 7:50.
Hello. All right, guys. Quiet down, guys. We're going to get the second half of the films going, so... Round of applause.
You know what you want to do, what you got to do. Probably was nervous sometimes. Once you start, you're right.
Since earliest times, fireworks have been used to express the wonder and delight of the soul. Down through the ages, people have continued to gaze spellbound as the heavens have erupted in magnificent celebrations of fire, light and colour. Sid Howard's imagination and expertise is stamped on every display that is presented by Sid Howard Fireworks International. Sid Howard Fireworks International provides the mass spectacle of the 21st century.
Well, I was born in a fireworks family. My grandfather started making fireworks in the early 20s, and he actually bought some fireworks, toy fireworks, the Shopgood one, which are banned in Australia now. He bought some for my father to light, and they were all duds. So he said, I can do better at this. And he bought some books on making fireworks, and that's where it all started.
Howard & Sons Pyrotechnics has been a family business for 4 generations. Les Howard, his elder brother Sid, and their father Harry control the family business.
I was only very young and still doing helping on the fireworks. And I remember the first fireworks display that I did, and I was at primary school at Epping, and they had a school fete, and it was at Epping Oval. I did the whole lot myself and fired it all. My father was on the other side of the fence keeping an eye on me. I've been firing fireworks before that, so I guess I wasn't scared. It was just a thing of what to do. All the days of hand firing, that's probably why I'm a little deaf. But all the days of hand firing, you had what we call a port fire, it was a bit, not quite a foot long. And you had to light the product. You'd be standing very close to it. And I think the audience, to say at Sydney Royal like that, because we have white overalls, so they could see how close we got to them. Yeah, the opening of the Opera House was, I remember the day well. It blew a gale, it was a westerly wind.
And now, while the invited guests are beginning to arrive for the gala concert, we're going outside to see a display which is free for all of us. Fireworks over Sydney Harbour.
That was when I was with the family. It was a big show. We were, the family was probably #1 in Australia doing shows. We did all the big ones. And it was a great opportunity to show what we could do. It was a really good show.
The opening of Sydney Opera House was marked by magnificent fireworks.
The fireworks on the Sydney Harbour has really made, in a way, Sydney very famous. And there's that many tourists that come in at Christmas time, New Year and that to Australia. And the big thing on their agenda is to see that fireworks at New Year's Eve. We've got that stage for it. The Opera House, the bridge, everything's there. It wasn't until the Royal Australian Navy, I think it was 75 years, that we were able to get onto the bridge. And that was just to hang a waterfall from underneath and a bit of fireworks lettering. But it took until 88 to get on top and do that show. I did that rainbow chase across the bridge. I always thought of how to do it. And when I was doing it at the factory doing testing, I'd fire all the colours, a couple of each, together. And to me, it just didn't seem to be working. And when they all went off in the chase, so the red and the yellows went through, made an orange, and you got the blend of all the colours right through. And we did it a few times, then come back again. And I think that was the best creation we were able to do. It was terrific be able to do it, just get that far. But it was just like another job until after we finished it, you look back and say, oh, we did, that was good.
Sweetheart, we thank you very, very much.
Bacalhau is a type of fish, and there's before in the olden days they didn't have any other ways of preserving the fish, so they have to have big barrels of salt and put the fish there. I think a lot of more people eating bacalhau now, and because we have good chefs and they try many ways of cooking bacalhau. It's like the Portuguese used to say, we have one dish of bacalhau for every day of the year. So I don't know all of them, of course, but I do a few. I continue to do bacalhau in Australia because now it's nearly everywhere, so it's more available, so you can cook it, and also to remember my country, where I came from, and also because it's good and everyone likes it. And I'm gonna put it in here to be cooked with the potatoes. I was 22 when I came to Australia, and I moved to Australia because I wanted to try something new and maybe something better for my kids, and I was told that Australia was better, so I came to try, and they were right. Australia is my home now. It wasn't easy at the beginning. It was very hard. When the first year that I stayed in Australia, I cried nearly every day. But after 4 years, I went back to Portugal. Portugal was also my country, but people changed. I changed too. And so when I went back there the first time, I find everything different, and I felt like I didn't belong there anymore. Australia was my place, my house, my home, yeah. I'm gonna put some salt in, like a handful. The culture here was very different from where I came from, and even the food was so different. I couldn't find anything that I liked. And when I was passing by the fast food shops, the smell of the chips being cooked in lamb fat, oh my God, was so bad. I didn't like it. As the years passed, we start getting more Portuguese things in here, and I start cooking my own dishes, going to the church, taking my kids to the Portuguese school, and trying to do mostly everything what I was doing in Portugal. My kids, my grandkids, they all like the Portuguese culture. Sometimes we take them to the Portuguese festivals, even to the clubs. Yeah, they like it. Before, it felt more like Portugal because it was only Portuguese people going there. But now it feels more like Portugal and Australian together, because when you go there, it's not only Portuguese people eating our food, it's people from everywhere. Like last Saturday, I was looking at the people that are eating there, was more people from other countries than Portuguese. So what do you think about that? I feel like at home when I cook Portuguese food, and when people eating my food, I think I'm bringing them a bit of Portugal to them. That's what I love Australian culture. It's very open to all other cultures. And yeah, it's like people now, they all Australian. They don't think, oh, you are different, you came from a different country. When you talk to anyone in Australia, you don't look at them and say, oh, you're not from Australia. It's like, you are Australian. We all are Australian. So it makes us see that everyone is different, but at the same time, everyone is the same.
When I was younger, I used to find that I had a very big emotional attachment to things, and I think I still do as an adult. But there was one situation where I had a balloon and I let it go. But that's when my mom turned to me and she told me that a little moon child will find it and just be so happy that I let my balloon go. I just didn't want to risk stepping on a crack because honestly, who knew? Who knew what was going to happen? My grandma knew that the monsters under her bed couldn't get to her if her feet were tucked in. I always found it a bit weird because it was this little fairy that would come and just, essentially take a little piece of you, a little tooth. I think it kind of helps us come to terms with the idea of growing and change and moving on and leaving stuff behind, and then new exciting things, are possibly there in the future for us. My friend Will was told that the stars in the night sky were people that had passed away, and I think this kind of helped him cope with the whole idea of losing someone and kind of understand that at such a young age, and the idea that people are always around us even when they're gone. I think it's sort of in our nature to grow and evolve. Like that's kind of what we're meant to do as humans. So I think a lot of these things we get to a point where we don't need them anymore. But there's some things that we can choose to just hold on to just a little bit tighter.
When I was 6, I was made aware of my chest. I remember the sun. I remember the heat, the cotton of my t-shirt clinging to my body. I remember the fabric peeling from my skin as my tiny hands reached up and up and up and over my head. I remember the instant relief, the rush of cool air against skin. I remember my father rushing over to me, telling me to put my shirt back on, telling me that girls shouldn't do that it wasn't right. I was 10 the first time I noticed my hair. It was thicker than everyone else's, darker too. It grew in places it wasn't meant to, in places that were only meant for boys. I still remember it like it was yesterday. The warm caress of molten wax, the quick sting as my mother ripped the strip from my upper lip, the inspection of the tiny hairs stuck like bees to honey, the nakedness of my skin. When I was 12, my knees became a source of shame. I was kneeling on the floor of the school chapel, accompanied by a few other girls. A flock of teachers surrounded us like seagulls, squawking if our hems didn't kiss the ground. The rough carpet dug into my once smooth skin, and with my fingers crossed tightly behind my back, I prayed I had unrolled my waistband in time. I was 16 when my shoulders became someone else's source of comfort. I soon garnered interest from men who smelt like cigars and mothballs. Their wrinkled hands would reach out and touch my shoulder, fingers squeezing with what little life they had left. When they would smile and call me good girl, I would grin with teeth clenched. The curve of my waist became something to behold at 17. Large warm hands with long, strong fingers had curled their way around my middle. The fingers, squeezing ever so gently, lingered longer than necessary. When I was 18, I became aware of my knuckles. I never knew they could turn so white. I never thought I would find comfort in the cold sting of metal clutched between fingers. I never thought a pain like that would make me feel so safe. I'm still not sure I can call my body my own. It belongs to all the men who have squeezed my waist and smiled down at me. To all the women who have made me kneel in repentance. To the society that decided a young girl's body was too sexual to be seen. When my femininity is on display for everyone to judge, to manipulate, to desire, when the only thing I am made to be is a woman? How can I say that this body, the one that I inhabit, is my own? I hope that with time, I can reclaim ownership of my own body, of my femininity, of my own divinity. I hope that one day I can call myself my own.
Yeah, I think train stations are just a very good and natural way to make realities of divisions clear. They don't create these divisions, they just make them apparent because, why is one station so different from another, other than class, other than race, other than conscious political effort. It's just something about Blacktown that I do appreciate and that I do feel grateful for, is that there is such a variety of cultures, and it's just something I've always had, growing up in Blacktown. When I don't have that same kind of experience at other places, it does feel a bit weird, it does feel a bit alien. It's not what I'm used to, being somewhere in North Sydney, which is majority white. It's a very different energy, and something that maybe might make other places feel a bit more uncomfortable, I suppose. That's one side of the coin, and the other side of the coin is definitely class. It's something that I've just become more and more conscious of over time. Never really was too aware of the way that I'd be perceived by people from other places. And yeah, coming to Macquarie, uni, going to work in St. Leonard's, people hearing that you're from Blacktown, for example, you're treated differently. Those feelings, I guess, get internalized a little bit, and you start to feel like you shouldn't be in these places. And yeah, it creates a weird sensation where I know I'm supposed to be at Macquarie University. I know I'm supposed to be at St. Leonard's to work. And I've been going to these places for years now for both of those things. I don't know, I feel like there is definitely a shared feeling of discomfort that comes from having to go into different spaces that aren't made for you, but you have to be there. Like for work, I have to go to the city. The industry I want to work in, I can't work in that from home, so it feels kind of hostile that I'm forced to be in an environment I don't want to be in, and it feels like a bit of agency, a bit of power is taken away. I think that's something that's definitely fairly universal. I think it's just a reality that's unavoidable, is that as long as there is class and racial divides, people who are from classes and races that are looked down upon are always going to feel, to a degree, maybe uncomfortable and unsafe in places that they aren't meant to be. Talking about feelings of safety, as a healthy young man, I don't really feel unsafe very often. The only times I might feel unsafe would be at Blacktown at night. There's a police station pretty much just across the road from the train station, so I know there's always a very strong presence just walking around, and I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just tapping my card, going about my business, but I don't know, I really feel like I'm being watched at times, really feel like I'm being judged, and they're just waiting for me to do something wrong. I've only really had one particularly negative experience with police at stations, other than just the general feelings of intimidation. Yeah, so there was one time I was coming up the stairs and I needed to use the restroom, and the bathrooms came before the Opal tap off, and I made eye contact with some police that were standing at the tap off, and they were staring at me as I walked in, and we made really weird, intense eye contact. And so I went to the bathroom and, handle my business, and I come out, and they were standing right next to the door waiting for me. They didn't really say anything. I was like, I said, is there an issue? And one of them said, you were in there quite a while, mate. And I said, yeah, I was. And then he said, is everything all good? And I said, yeah, why wouldn't it be? And I don't know, he just sort of looked at me, and they both stared at me, and it was really weird and intense for a moment. I don't know, I felt like I was under attack for needing to go to the bathroom. That particular situation came very shortly after a family member, after my father had been strip searched by the police. So it was, I don't know, that experience, that fact was very at the forefront of my mind, and I'm like, shit, are they about to violate me because they think I'm trying to hide something in the bathroom? Like, what's happening here? But I don't know, I ended up just walking off, and they didn't stop me, but they stared at me the whole time, and I don't know, that whole situation has made me super uncomfortable, and it's really stuck with me for the last few years, and can't even go to the bathroom without being stared at.
I hope to endure the years, to navigate the many halls. I hope these painted walls hold. I hope I do. These empty halls, with empty seats, this place is not forgotten, only left behind. I wonder if there is a plan for me. I wonder.
while we're waiting for the award winners, we're going to conduct the audience award.
So, pretty self-explanatory. I should probably get out of the way. Get your phones out. This relies on you guys having phones. I would have loved to have you guys raise your hands, but we've got technology. So, scan the QR code. You can vote for 3 of your favourite films, top 3 films. We did 3 purely because that is the most balanced without it just being a flat graph. So, go ahead. I'll give you a minute to do that. You guys are very quiet.
They're concentrating, Chris.
Okay. I will give you a minute to do that.
Remember, how many votes are we going to vote?
I don't know, you can vote.
You know what?
1 minute, guys. Go for it. Huh? Yeah, sign in so you guys don't forge your votes. We're going to give them a minute.
Oh wait, my mic's on. I have to put like the camera.
Okay. Reload the page, guys, because apparently I don't know how to recognize names. Hmm? Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. While that goes on, I can. Am I mute? All right. So, guys, I'll wait. I can verifiably say that there is a tie happening at the moment. Stop it. This isn't my phone.
We should do the audience word
Oh.
last.
No, we're going to do that. We're... Okay. Hold on. Can I borrow your phone? All right, guys.
Please excuse my host. He hasn't forgot his words.
That's just me. Okay, now while that's going on, I will give you guys a bit more time. I'm sure our continuing students are wondering, what's next?
What is next? MMCC 3013, open form filmmaking.
Narrative, doco, experimental, hybrid, whatever. So we thought we'd show you guys what could be done with a simple concept.
You all right?
I don't quite yet know.
Well, can I help you with something?
Do you have any rooms?
We have many, yes.
Do you have any vacant rooms?
On occasion, yes.
Could I have one?
Is that for tonight?
Haven't quite yet decided.
Do you have a reservation?
Well, no.
Just thought you'd show up then.
Is that a problem?
No, it's fine. It's just most people have a plan. They have places to go, people to see, things to do, lives to live. They make reservations.
Well, I just...
Haven't. Clearly.
Excuse me?
How do you do it? Just drift from one place to the next?
That's not...
Just expect other people to pick up your slack? Because there are times that I have to turn people away. I have to say, sorry, we're all booked out, no rooms at all.
Well, are you?
That's besides the point, isn't it?
So can I get a room?
What kind of room would you like?
I'd like a room with a bed.
Well, they all have beds in them.
Then any room is fine, honestly.
How about a room with a view?
Of what?
We have a room with a view of the building across the street, or we have a room at the back of the building.
What's at the back?
Another building.
Fine, I'll just...
Or we have a room with no views at all.
No view?
Nothing.
Well, sounds like a waste of my time.
Funny, I was thinking the very same thing.
Right, well, what would you choose then?
I wouldn't stay here.
Look, it's late. I'm tired. I just need a room.
It's only 2 a.m. The night is still young.
I don't care anymore. I just need a bloody room.
Okay, let's not get angry now.
Well, you're not making it easy.
I find that quite hard to believe. All my friends find me particularly pleasant.
This is a hotel, isn't it?
You came in here not knowing whether it was a hotel.
Of course I knew.
Well, then I'm quite puzzled.
It was rhetorical.
Ah.
So, can I get a room?
Sorry, we're all booked out.
I shot it, so. Anyways. So, yeah. So.
Okay, so I'd now like to call upon Karen to present the award.
So, hi, I'm Dr. Karen Perlman. I'm the convener of this unit, and were those films fabulous or what? All right, so as I was saying to somebody earlier, this has nothing to do with marks. It's not the same situation at all, so don't panic, anybody. Marks will be out next week, and, you know, ignore the marks. That's not why we do it anyway. Read the comments. Ask me if you have questions. Yes, there are chocolates. Much excitement for those people who are interested in chocolates. We got a swag of awards to present, so I'm going to kick it straight off and say that we've got the usual categories and a few extras for things that are special or particular to documentary or needed to be noted in this unit. Starting with VFX. Well done, for honorable mention to Parkway Paranoia for your excellent VFX. Woo! And Creative Achievement Award goes to how many balloons are there in space? Woo! Now, you have to run up here and collect your chocolate. Sam's got it for you. Who's gonna run and collect that chocolate? Balloons. Yes, Balloons creator, that'd be you, Will. On the VFX, go. All right, you can move faster than that, Will.
Will, please take one.
There you go.
While Will is choosing, I will present the next award.
There you go.
For the next award, we have, for those of you who don't know, I'm one of the tutors. The next award is for sound. We saw some wonderful sound work throughout all of these, some really wonderful atmospheres and compositions. Our honorable mention for this category goes to Transient Memory and Abandoned, both of which were wonderful. However, there can only be one winner, and today that winner is Parkway Paranoia. Come on through, come on
Okay,
through.
Jazz, you get your pick of chocolates here. We did not get an award for nice outfit.
But it is.
We should have a nice award for nice outfit, but well done for sound. Okay, now, here's the thing. How many of you remember at the beginning of the semester when I said documentary is made in the edit suite? And you went, what's she talking about? I don't know what she's talking about. Now, I'm going to say it again. Documentary is made in the edit suite, right or wrong? Yeah. Okay, Sam. Every single one of you people who signed up for editing this semester, you get your own packet of Maltesers, because for real, that was serious.
Come up here and I'll
Okay, but quietly, okay, because we got to give some honorable mentions and we got to give an award too. Okay, there you go, very nice. You didn't do editing and you're taking Maltesers anyway? Okay, all right, so editing, as you know, is a bit my thing, so I'm very pleased to present a number of editing awards. Holy moly, 3 honorable mentions. Parkway Paranoia, Transient Memory, and Jazz Chord. Right? Those are so good, so good. So it was hard, and the Creative Achievement Award this semester goes to No Blueprint. Remy, where are you? There. Oh, you look so despondent, Remy. Get cheerful. Come on, this is it. You get a whole bar of chocolate to share with your crew.
From the edit, we will be moving right along to the thing that the editor works with, that is the design. We had some wonderful designs across all of these, and they are perhaps the other hardest working member on the film crew. For design, our honorable mention goes to Queer Time. Woo! And the winner of the Creative Achievement Award for Design goes to The Birth of Venus. Come up and get your chocolate.
Well done, Jackie. And look, she dresses like a designer too. I love that. Okay, we expect big things of you. We don't know which chocolate you like though. You can grab it. Okay. All right, so now I get to give a special award, which I'm really pleased and excited to be able to give out. I invented this award, and I think it's extremely well deserving, both of the invention and of the award itself. I would now like to make a special award to a director designer for how many balloons are there in space? It really is impressive, isn't it? Putting the whole thing together like that, so congratulations. You can have one too if you did some editing.
All right, from there we have that ineffable part of all documentaries, the interview. We have, as our honourable mention for Best Interview, Bacalao. Give him a round of applause. And the Creative Achievement Award for Best Interview goes to Abandoned. And what an interview it was, my God.
Thank you. Nice one, Gina. Well done. Take whatever you want. All right. No, it's really it's an interesting thing. I mean, the way that certain directors in this unit stepped into and really embraced certain aspects of it was very exciting to see. So well done, Georgia and Gina. And we're flipping the page over, and we have an award to go for lighting. Are you ready? Honorable mention to Birth of Venus. Nice one. Okay. And Creative Achievement Award goes to Jazz Chord. And David collecting on behalf of Hao Cheng. Thank you, David. Well done. Very dedicated to their lighting, that crew. And wasn't it beautiful?
Just gorgeous. Next up, we have cinematography. Ooh. Our honourable mentions for cinematography go to Transient Memory and Jazz Chord. Give them a round of applause. And the Creative Achievement Award goes to Set in Stone. For some beautiful work. Jono, grab yourself a chocolate.
Okay. All right. So documentary is interesting, isn't it? It's like not what you expected and harder than you thought. And things evolve during the process, and we're actually really excited to see people pivoting and evolving in various ways as they realize what things could be. We saw that in quite a few films. I mean, almost every film that we've mentioned already had at some point a major pivot, which was exciting and wonderful to see. So we wanted to give an award tonight for creative concept in documentary, and that's going to No Blueprint.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Next up, we have directing. And for directing, we have our honourable achievements going to No Blueprint again, and Transient Memory, both of which were beautifully directed.
Amazing.
And our Creative Achievement Award goes to Queer Time. Do we have anyone from Queer Time here? Well, they're on their own time.
Okay. So now we're coming down to our last two, and then there's an Audience Choice Award. Okay, so we don't do that Audience Choice thing. You guys do that Audience Choice thing. Chris, Georgia, is that going to happen? The Audience Choice thing? We're good on that? Okay. We got chocolates for them, so it's all good. Okay. Producing So again, maybe not what you expected, maybe harder than you thought, and yeah, super interesting to see how influential a producer can be on the creation of films altogether and documentary in particular. So we want to give yet another honorable mention to Transient Memory. You people still here? Right? Okay, good. And a Creative Achievement Award to Student Film. The one and only. The only student film here tonight. Go Pam, okay. Pleasure. Say anything? No, I don't want to say anything. Oh my God. I mean, I don't know. Give one to Maddie.
Yeah, I'll get one for Maddie.
Now, we have one more award from us and the rest of the tutors tonight, and it was one for a film that got just so many honourable mentions that we were so impressed by it. It was for overall unity, tone, and coherence, and we wanted to recognise Transient Memory. 4. Come on up, come on up.
They're the fucking best.
Right? It's a kind of unity thing.
Yeah.
Like an overall thing. Like coherence of the team.
It's nice, man.
And now, we'll hand back to you guys for the Audience Choice Award.
All right. Intentionally, I've taken a blurry photo of the graph. Can you see that? No?
Oh.
Now you can see there's a clear winner. I did say there was a tie, but I guess no.
People get voting.
I guess. Should I put suspense on it? Third, second?
Should we just make them?
All right. All right, in third place, Set in Stone.
Everyone can Set in Stone, come on up, grab yourself a chocolate. The Audience Award is for your horse.
It's going to be a packed stage. No one from Set in Stone. Get up here. Stop switching. Come on. Come on.
Come on.
I'll wait. All right, so just to be fair, I probably should have said how many people responded. 89 people. And it definitely didn't shit the bed. In second place, how many balloons are floating in space? With a grand total of 30 votes.
Oh. Come here.
I should probably say Set in Stone was, Set in Stone got third by 2 votes. So, all right.
Okay, what's next? We're bated breath here.
In first place, with 46 points votes, The Birth of Venus. .7% of the vote.
Whoa, that's serious.
That's what they like to call a cleanup. Anyways.
And maybe you grab yourself a chocolate.
Oh, but I'm allergic. Okay. I'll choose.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yes.
It's been a long and thought-provoking screening. A lot of great films. But
Now,
it must come to an end.
it must do. Now, before we wrap up, let's give a massive round of applause to Karen and Sam, Alex, Mike, Ben. I have a little something for you guys.
Thank you.
Alex,
Alex, I'll
says one down
airdrop
here
you
for
your
as well.
wine.
Thank you to all of the faculty staff that have helped us bring all of our ideas to life. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
Also, of course,
Alex, come down.
come down to the front. That's the only way you're getting your wine. Here you go.
Clearly not a projectionist. Sorry for the stuff.
It's fine, we'll forgive you sometime. That's right. Thank you, Alex. We'll also give a special thanks to Vinny for helping run this ship, for leading the screening committee, and making this night possible. Now, the after party. There was supposed to be a thing up that I didn't give to Alex. Oops, that's on me. But the after party is at the Governor, so make your way there promptly by car, plane.
Boat.
Some means get there. I think Vinny's already there, so he'll greet you when you get there. So, because he's organising the committee, no other reason. Anyways,
Right.
thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Medium rare.
Still a bad joke.
Thanks, guys.